Microphone.
Well, hello. I'm back to another recording. I'm not finding Dabble to be a very good app. So, I have decided to quit using Dabble because it's not a very good app in the first place. It's alright, but it's not alright. So I'm just not using it anymore. I've had to start putting the aircon on more often because it's really hot now, 27 degrees plus outside. I can walk at 4:30, between 4 and 4:30 I can start walking to the shops and that, but obviously, before 4 it's so hot. It's still hot when it's 4 p.m. as well, but it's not as bad. So I thought better off walking early in the morning at, like 8 o'clock or earlier, or late in the afternoon, 3:30 or later. Because otherwise it is so fucking hot. It's so hot. As for Dabble, my reasons for not using Dabble, it keeps on cutting out too much. The sound isn't very good. It's not as good as Recorder HQ, it's not as good as YouTube. And I have Wi-Fi now, so I can afford to stream on YouTube now. So I can do more recordings and that on YouTube now than what I used to when I didn't have Wi-Fi. So basically, sorry about that, I literally had to run out to the bin with a tea bag. I somehow broke a Hitch and Tidy, and I've never ever again since got the new one. Because to me, they're just crap, they're just utter crap. They're just rubbish. I don't like them, So, I don't use the Hitch and Tidy thingies anymore for the garbage bags because they're too hard. When you break them, you've got to get rid of them, and if it breaks down anyway, you've got to get rid of it. Like, it's crap. I don't even like them. So now, I just buy garbage bags and I use them. I bloody use them. That's pretty much what I do now. So, I keep forgetting that one of the markings on the inside of the Coles Coles soup mug is not actually a dirt mark. It's literally a part of the glass. Oh, I keep forgetting about that. So, back to what I was bloody saying, Dabble is not as good a sound quality as YouTube recordings and all that, and podcasts and that. So, I may use Dabble occasionally, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody because it starts out really good, like it's a novelty, but because the sound recording's crap, and there's so many weird dramatic people on there as well, so many dramatic bloody things that happen on there, it's like Rail. Starts out really good, it ends up being a bad idea. It just isn't any good. It's just no good, full stop. they're going to get rid of Dabble as well, because every time a blindness social media platform is created, somehow it gets spoiled by someone. And you're like, just get rid of the bloody apps. We don't need them. We don't need social media apps with too many people on them. We really don't. You know, like, it's not necessary. It just is not necessary, full stop. It isn't. You know, why do you need a social media app to cause drama on? Or to have cyber sex or dating relationships? Go and find it somewhere else. You don't need to use vision impairment platforms to look for a dating relationship or sexual encounter. You don't need to do that. There are plenty of websites out there that are created for looking for sexual partners and relationship partners. If that's what you want, go to those bloody websites. Stop going to the blindness platforms looking for it. You know, it's just not on. And the sound quality, my God. I can do a better recording than that using Recorder HQ. I just can't believe how crap the sound quality is for Dabble. It's rubbish. And then you get cut off your stream, so when you start a stream you get kicked out. Having a Wi-Fi network hasn't fixed that. It's fixed a whole lot of other problems, but it certainly hasn't fixed the issue with bloody Dabble. So it's not a Wi-Fi problem. Don't go excusing it either. Oh, but your Wi-Fi network's bad. It's not bad. It is a very good network, thank you, and I know what I'm talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't need anyone telling me that my Wi-Fi isn't working properly, because it is. Sometimes the mobile coverage is pretty thick, so when I get 3 signal Wi-Fi bars all the time anyway, but when I get them, sometimes the mobile network fucks up the signal. I know it does. It happens whether you've got mobile or home phone connections, so don't, you know, start making excuses about how the Wi-Fi network isn't working, because it is. It's working fine. I don't need to be told that I need to fix my network. I don't need to fix it. There's nothing wrong with the phone except that the battery... Well, it's not the battery, because I got a new battery last year. The point is, everyone brings in their ideas without really knowing the truth of the story. People need to stop doing that. If there was something majorly wrong with what I was doing, then Apple would have fixed it by now. It's got nothing to do with Wi-Fi, it's got nothing to do with my phone. It's got to do with the motherboard in the phone. It needs fixing, but that's when Apple is like, just buy a new phone. But okay, that's fine, but when people are just jumping in without knowing the story, it doesn't really help me very much. It really doesn't. You know, just accept the fact that my Wi-Fi network works fine and that Dabble is not working properly, full stop. That's the problem. Well, that's all I've got to say about Dabble, since it doesn't bloody work properly, you know, and it cuts you off out of your stream and you have to keep creating a new live stream, and it's like, and they give you 2 hours of air time. Like, for God's sake, you know, YouTube can do one better. You get 11 hours of air time on YouTube. 11 hours. You know, so come on. Dabble is not the best app I've ever used. In fact, I think Roger is heaps better than Dabble. Thing is, they got rid of Roger, and I really liked it. I really, really liked it. forgot all about the bloody thing. I thought I hadn't put it out, and then I realised the bloody, far out. Oh, how do I not know that I put the bread out? Shit. Doesn't matter, I know now. I never got it now. I never got it now. Never got it now. So, I love making sandwiches with salad stacks. Yum! I love salad stacks on bread. The other thing that's happened, and I'm actually quite happy about it. The sad news is the neighbour living up in Unit 28 on 53 Wilkins Street West in that complex, the person in number 28 isn't very well at the moment. That's the sad part. The good part about that is people are starting to notice him for who he is. He's not entirely a bad bloke, but he's very intellectually impaired, and it is very, very, very hard to diagnose people when they're functioning, and they appear to be high functioning, so it's hard to diagnose just how intellectually impaired they are. But now it's starting to be seen that beneath the surface of this bloke's high functioning ability, he has a lot of problems which he doesn't understand or won't admit to, or whatever the case. We've got a lot of issues that a few people who are concerned with his welfare are now starting to realise, oh, yes, he sometimes shows high functioning behaviour, but actually no, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have a more serious problem than what meets the eye. Meaning that he's very clever and very articulate with his language and very clever when he behaves well and that. But when you don't know him very well, it is hard to see from the same perspective what you would know of him if you knew him very well. He's one of these people that if you don't know him very well, oh, he's a lovely man, yeah, he has a temper, but oh, everyone has a temper, oh, you know, that's not the point. when you really get to know him, you get to see why he's like that, and you're like, oh my God, why can't he get the extra support that he really needs? If you know what I mean. He's one of these people that, yeah, he's a good man, you can have a cup of coffee with him, but he has so many problems underneath his good behaviour and his sometimes bad temper that you've got to get to know this bloke to really go, oh shit, I didn't see that. Fuck, I didn't see all these other needs that he has. In other words, you don't see how needy he really is until you get to know this person. Now, I think it's honestly really sad because other than his problems, he's a pretty good man. He just has so many fucking problems that most people are like, what are you talking about? He's fine. We'll get to know him and you'll understand he isn't very well. He isn't as fine as what he appears on the surface. You know, people are real quick to judge the outside, but not so quick to look at the inside of this person's life. You know, and it's like, this is why it's so hard to diagnose mental health issues. Because people either don't want to accept that they have problems or they can't understand that they have problems, so they think they're fine. And their behaviour can be really nice. They can be loving people. They can be really bad-tempered, but then they can also be very, very good as well. So they have a good and a bad side. But people try to show their good side and try not to show their bad side because they know if they show their bad side, they're going to get more help than what they truly want. You know, if people know that I have issues and I need help, they're like, no, I don't actually want help. I need to try to show people that I don't have the issues that they think, or as many issues as what people lead other people to believe about me. You know, like, this is what people are like. So when I go to the doctors and jokingly say I need to take some Prozac today, and they're like, yeah, right, you know, you're a bit upset, but why do you need Prozac when you're upset? And it's like, well, you wouldn't believe me if I lied to you, would you? Or would you believe me if I told you I was fine? That's when you tell me I have mental problems for saying I'm fine, because I'm not going to be honest about my feelings because I can't accept them or whatever you've got to say. But if I tell you, oh, I'm a bit angry and sad and I need something to make me feel well because I want to smash a wall in, oh, you can't possibly be like that. You're a lovely person. So, and I'm telling you the truth. I might be a lovely person. I'm telling you the truth about how unlovely I feel today, and you just don't want to fucking believe me. God, but if I lie to you, say, oh, I'm great, thank you, the doctor can say, oh, are you sure about that? Is there anything you need to tell me about? It's like, yes, but you won't believe me when I do. This is what I mean. They don't want to believe you when you're honest with them, but once you start, I don't know, saying, oh, I'm good, thanks, I'm doing just fine. They're like, yeah, what problems do you have that you're actually here for? Tell them. Like, oh, are you sure it's a problem? Do you think you're just worrying too much? And I'm like, well, that is one of my problems, actually. But anyway, the other problem is, and they're like, yeah, can we get an assessment? It's like, but if I tell you I'm doing really well, you'll do an assessment too. So what difference does it make? What difference does it have to make anyway? If you say I'm doing fine, thank you, they do an assessment to prove it. If they say I'm really sick at the moment and I'm also in a very angry mood, they do an assessment to prove that. So it's very hard to get people diagnosed properly because the doctor can only go with what they see, what people tell them. You know, if you interject and say, no, we've seen what you're like the past 3 months, you've been terrible with your behaviour, the doctor can only say, yeah, but we know what you're saying, but this person seems to be coping okay the past week, is that right? And it's like, that's not the point. They might have been coping a week before they went to the doctors, they're coping very well. What about before that when they were not coping? And then the only thing the doctor can say to that is, oh, we can only look at what we're seeing today. Okay, so if I had a child with a lot of problems and my doctor said, look, your child's fine, we know he probably had problems 3 months ago and maybe he had bad bouts with his issues the past 4 weeks, but he's been okay most of the time. And I'd be like, yeah, but you're missing the bloody point. Most of the time isn't all the time. You're not seeing the days that he's in a horrible fucking state. That they're the days that you need to look at. They're the things you need to help him with. If you're just looking at the good days that, if I had a child, you know, that the child has had, you're not looking at their bad days, you're not fixing their bad state, you're just looking at their good days saying they're fine. But if you saw them having a bad day, you'd be like, oh, holy crap, what can I do to help you with your bad mental health problem today? And then the confusing part with all of that would be like having to tell the doctor, you know, the child could be perfectly well tomorrow and really horrendous the next day, and the doctor will just say, oh, that's just normal in life. Yeah, but if you see the bad state yourself, you wouldn't be thinking that. You'd be thinking, shit, we need to find some medication. And then the story would change when you say, okay, so what am I meant to do on the good days when it doesn't appear that the child needs medicine on a good day? What is the story? Oh, well, every day is different, and a child with mental health issues needs medication every day to ensure that they always feel well every day. So what? If you only see the child having a good day, but you don't want to see their bad days, then that's okay. But once you see a bad day, you suddenly want to medicate them every day of the week because, oh, I don't want to see your child having a bad day anymore because it looks horrible. Yeah, but you didn't have to see this for the past 6 years, as in the doctor. Didn't have to see this for the past 6 years. This is what I mean. The doctors just don't understand unless it's too late or they see a problem that they're like, oh shit, I'm sorry. And it's like, you weren't bloody sorry before when you weren't seeing what I was saying or talking about or suffering from or whatever. I know what the doctor's trying to say is that they don't want to medicate you for something that they haven't seen you suffering from because they could get you the wrong treatment, and that's a great idea. But at the same time, you know what you like or what your kids are like more than your doctor's going to know. So my thing is, oh, well, I can take a treatment and it may not bloody work. What am I meant to do then? Because I'm getting sick of this bullshit, you know. That's what I end up saying. That's what I end up saying. And I'm just like, oh, far out. I can't deal with this crap anymore. Oh. So, that's my little bloody rant about the doctors and how hard it is to diagnose people, which gets me back to my point about this bloke. People are starting to see him for who he is, a very needy person who needs more than just a little bit of behavioural support to get by. yeah, I'm just glad that people are starting to see that, because now he's going to get all the help that he needs. He isn't going to like being put into a nursing home. He's not going to like it, but it is the only place for him to be at the moment, is in a nursing home. And even if he's allowed back into these units for a couple of weeks before they put him on a waiting list for a nursing home, which then he could be on the waiting list for 3 months, still, it's better than him not surviving very well living here. The point that most people miss is that, yes, this bloke knows a lot of people around here. Jono survives just because he knows people, but that's not really the point. The point is, he's not coping living here. He doesn't cope living here. He reckons he does, but I know that he doesn't. He will survive if he's not living here. He just won't be happy to be away from people he knows, so he won't survive for a few weeks because he'll be upset. But the people he knows can't look after him. And when you try and tell the doctors, oh yeah, but he's just having a bad patch and you're just worrying too much, and it's like, alright, you think you know better about him, you look after him. And when the doctor says, but he can look after himself, it's like, but he can't look after himself. That's the point that you miss. He cannot look after himself. He can't manage. I think that his stepfather's turning Jonathan into a big drama that it doesn't need to be. It's just a drama, and it's not a drama. Jonathan isn't well, and it's not very pleasant to be sick, but it's not a big drama. He's not really crook. He's just carrying on, and he's not very well. He's sick, but he's not that bad. And he, if people turn Jonathan's life into a drama, that's what he makes it out to be. I just don't believe in all this shit. He's not well, but don't turn it into a drama and make the situation worse. And if the stepfather goes, oh, well, you just don't understand me, I'll just be like, well, no, I just think you don't understand that it doesn't need to be a drama. It doesn't need to be a drama. And when you tell this stepdad, he's like, you don't understand. It's like, well, I do understand. You just don't want to accept the fact that I'm telling the truth. You just don't want to accept it. That's all it is. That's all it bloody is. It's me telling the truth and you don't want to hear it. That's what it means. I mean, lots of people are like that. Lots of people don't want to hear the truth. Lots of people are not interested in the truth unless it happens to them, or, well, not always unless it happens to them. People just don't want to hear the truth. They just don't want to know. I mean, that's fine, but don't tell me that I don't understand when I do. I do understand. We're all the same. We all have problems. You don't need to blame me because you don't want to hear the truth. So you have to put me at fault for not being understanding, when all it is you don't want to hear the truth. That's all it is. Okay, fine. I understand it's hard, but don't lay on the blame. Don't lay it on like that, because that isn't going to help anybody. It won't help anybody. It will not. Does not fix a situation to blame people for something that they're not at fault for. So blaming me because I don't understand is not going to fix Jonathan. It's just going to make him worse. It's going to make anyone else knowing the situation a lot worse. That's not what you do. It's not how you do it. It's just not on. But oh well, never mind. Whatever. I do care that Jonathan's not well, but then I don't care because he's got all the care and support that he needs now, so he doesn't really need any extra care and support. Anybody that tells me off for it is like, sorry, but you don't understand what you're talking about, so mind your business. That's what it all comes down to. Fact is, I don't need to be there to help Wayne. Wayne's got all the help that he needs. I don't need to help him. He doesn't need my support. I mean, I'll give him moral support from time to time. I don't have a problem with a little bit of moral support. Once here, once there. How you going? See you later. See you next week. See you whenever I see you. But I'm not going to give him every single day daily support that he doesn't need from me. He doesn't need it. The support he needs from me is, how you going? Yeah, let's have a coffee. Okay, see you later. Have a good one. You know, he doesn't need me to be responsible for anything, because it's just, I'm not responsible for anyone, only me. That's obvious for everybody else to know, but for Wayne it's not that obvious. What am I going to have? A little bit of that. Be careful with the probiotics. Where's the bloody actually I don't actually want. What am I going to have on that? Can't decide. I know I want salad. I do want salad. No, but Wayne has no obvious understanding that I'm not responsible for his or Jono's welfare. Wayne thinks I am because he can't deal with Jono, so I have to. Well, no, that isn't going to happen. That is not happening at all. I'm not dealing with Wayne or Jono. I'm not responsible for him, and that is how it is. I'm not about to do something that I am not licensed to do. I'm just not going to do it. It's just that simple. I'm not going to fucking pretend to be what I'm not, because I don't live that way, and Wayne knows it. He bloody knows it, and he takes advantage of the situation whenever he can, and it ain't going to work on me because I don't agree with his attitude, and I'm not going to let it affect me. You know, that's just not how it is with me. Not how it goes. And if Wayne wants to have it out with me, he can expect to know that his phone number is blocked out of my phone, and he's not about to get any of my phone support back. Not gonna happen. Absolutely will not. Oh, fucking buggered this up here. Hang on. Oh, shit. Hang on, I fucked up here. There's the coleslaw. But yeah, I'm certainly not going to tolerate any shit from Wayne, any shit from Jono. If they want a coffee, they're quite welcome to have a coffee every day if they want. I don't have a problem having a coffee every day with someone. Just don't make me responsible for other people's problems. I'm not responsible for other people's problems. It's how it is. I'm not taking any responsibility for Wayne or Jono's problems. I'll have a coffee, fine, that's it. You know, I'm not gonna do my best to be responsible for people I'm not responsible for. That is just how my life is. I'm not going to change it to make people happy. I will not. I know what my life is all about, and I'm not going to make other people feel happy over something that they can be responsible for on their own. It's, yeah, I'm definitely not going to make Wayne think that, oh, you know, I can just deal with him and Jonathan, because absolutely that is not going to happen. I believe that it's okay to be helpful to people, sympathetic, but I'm not going to show I'm not going to show this big responsibility thing. No way. Absolutely not. Yeah, where did I put that bloody cloth? Anyway, I'm not about to put Wayne and Jono's numbers back in my phone. I'm not about to ring them up and cry on the phone and all this shit. If Jono were to die by accident, I'd be sad. But I'd be like, well, he's only one of the neighbours and he's not one of my best friends. He's an acquaintance. He thinks he's a best friend, but he's not. He's an acquaintance, and he doesn't understand what an acquaintance is. That's fine. He's an acquaintance, and that's all that matters, really. He won't die, but if he did, yeah, I'd be a bit sad. But unlike a close relative or a really best friend, I wouldn't be so affected by it. So, you know, if Wayne wants to be nasty to me, then that's his problem, because he's nasty to people because he can't get control of them. That's why. And I know that, so I'm just not going to respond to him when he carries on like a pork chop. Oh no, I forgot to get a bloody red onion. Oh shit. I forgot the bloody onion I love having salad with a bit of onion and a bit of salami and ham stacked on bread. Yum. That would be beautiful. So yeah, I'm not going to respond to Wayne when he carries on. And Jonathan, well, he can't ring me and he won't be ringing me anymore. I won't be I won't be talking to him on the phone. I know he's sick and that, but I think some of it is attention. I know most of it's his physical body playing up, but some of it is him seeking attention, so I'm not too bothered. If he was really suffering and he was not breathing properly and he was needing oxygen and he couldn't lie down without crying out and all that, then maybe I might be like, oh fuck, what's wrong with him? He's really sick. But he's not really that bad. I think he was obviously in a lot of pain that he couldn't get in the car, but then you can if you try. You just grit your teeth and grit through the pain. What's the ambulance going to do? Just give you a pain reliever and take you to the hospital, and you'll still have to sit up and all this crap, and you have to learn to sit up and stand up and sit down and that when you're in the hospital, all while you're in pain. So what difference is it really going to make if you just try your own hand at putting up with pain yourself when you're not calling the ambulance, Like when you go to the hospital, the pain reliever will start to wear off after a while, and you've still got to put up with pain when you stand up and when you sit down. So you can do it at home as well, if that's the case. Anyway, Jono does get some attention out of it. So for me, it's not much of a drama. I'm glad they're dealing with Jono now. I'm very happy. it means that he's going to get the care that he needs. He's going to get angry, he's going to be nasty to people, but his lack of understanding that people are trying to help him is not going to stop them, and he will understand soon that his friends aren't running away. They just can't care about him as much as he wants them to care about him. They're not going to stop having coffee. He'll just be in a different situation where he has more care than he's got, which means we can have a coffee but his carers have to supervise him. And if he goes to a care home, that'll be good. That'll be good news. Because he might hate it, but other people won't have to help him here, and he won't need to keep annoying people and getting attention off people and just being annoying to get what he wants in life. He'll be angry about it, he'll hate it, but it's how it is. The other thing I wanted to say is I feel a lot more relaxed knowing that Jono's got his care workers taking control. That was yum. That was beautiful. Yum. That was beautiful. It was so yum. It was so yummy. I'm just a lot more relaxed now that I know that Jonathan's got everything he needs in his life without me being forced to take responsibility for him, because I'm not. I will say that I think this last stint, which happened yesterday, is actually getting people to see Jonathan for who he is, a very needy person that is not only very clever and very nice, but also very, very needy of support and high-level care. And if he starts screaming and fighting, well, that's what he does. I'm not going to let him escape to my unit to get away from everybody, because that makes people think, oh, he's got his friendships, he's got his support networks, he'll be fine. He won't be fine. People just think that he'll be fine because, he goes off to see his friends. He's right. If I don't let him see me for a coffee, people think, he can't go to visit his friends, he's not doing too well. Good, then he can be palmed off to somewhere else for him to be looked after properly, because Jonathan escaping to my unit to have coffee is not going to make him fine forever. And if those doctors realise that I'm not answering my phone, that I'm not talking to him on the phone, I'll only talk to him face to face, then they'll know, so she's only capable of being a friend. She's not capable of actually dealing with people. Oh, okay. And they'll immediately take over and say, Jonathan, your friends do like you, but they can only help you so much. We need to support you more than what your friends can help you. And we go, no, I'm okay. They'll be like, well, sorry, mate, but we're seeing that you're struggling and your friends want you to be comfortable. They just can't support you as much as you would expect them to support you. It's how it is. Your friends can't do everything for you. They'll see you, they'll have coffee, but they can't, run your life. We have to help you with all of that, and your friends can just socialise with you. And if he carries on, they'll just give him some diazepam and calm him down a little bit, which will be a little bit upsetting considering the circumstances, but certainly better than where he is at right now. So, hopefully something will be done about Jono, because once people realise that all his friends have backed off and that his behaviour is how it is, his behaviour is worse because his friends aren't trying to deal with him or anything like that, people will straight away think, yep, mental health, psychiatric stuff, and they'll keep him in. Because once people see that his friends are only going to socialise with him on their own terms and everyone else is okay but Jono isn't okay, well, they're going to deal with Jonathan very quickly, which is the whole idea of backing away and keeping boundaries and limits and not responding to his behaviour and all this stuff, deleting messages. I cannot wait until tomorrow. I keep thinking today would be support worker. Whoops. Tomorrow will be I get a support worker every Thursday. Tomorrow will be the support worker, and I'm going over to Cannon Hill Shopping Centre, and I plan to put that on recording, because I haven't done a really long YouTube recording for ever and ever, because I was like, I can't do this because I'll have to keep the recording in my phone and use up all of the space in my phone just to keep the recording, that I'll have to upload at the Wi-Fi network in the library, and I would need to either do an upload using my cellular data when it's only just being topped up. You know, if there's 10 gigabytes of data, I can do one really big 2 gigabyte, or so 1.5 to say 3 gigs of download. I could do one of those every month. Now it doesn't even cross my mind. I've got Wi-Fi, so I can upload things immediately or within a few hours, or whenever I need to, I can upload those things immediately. So it just means if I do an upload, I can say, okay, I'm doing an upload in a few hours, and I'll be recording something soon, and I won't be taking the Wi-Fi network with me, or whatever I say. Whatever I say that amounts to, I'll be doing the upload in a few hours after the recording, blah blah blah. Not that I always will, but at least I know that I can essentially do what I used to do with Audio Boom and upload things at any old time and that. So yeah, it is going to be fucking awesome when I do this recording tomorrow. It just means that as soon as I wake up, I've got to make sure I've got money there in the bank. God. Got to make sure I've got money there to actually buy the chicken stir fry. I'm going to get chicken stir fry from the butcher, and from Coles I'm going to get, what am I going to get? I'm going to get mince and stir fry from the butcher, and from Coles I plan to get Jesus, what am I going to get? Couple of different veggies to go with the spaghetti bog, and that, or I might just get sausages, chicken stir fry, and then just go, I think I've got potatoes in the fridge, so I'll just get a piece of pumpkin and bloody broccoli, and I could have broccoli and pumpkin with mashed potato and sausages. Then I could make spaghetti next week. I could make it next week, go back to Cannon Hill next week and get some more chicken stir fry. And the other thing I've got to do, I struggle cutting watermelon and papaya and all that, so I'm now going to have to make it a routine, whether it be once a fortnight even, of going to the shops at Fairfield Gardens where there is a local greengrocer, and I can get whatever fruit and veggies I need from there, whether it be every week. It would probably be every week. Even if I buy enough veggies there for 2 weeks, do a big cook-off, put it all in the freezer, you know, so that I can eat it at whatever time I want to eat. And just go from there. Because that way I know that I'll have plenty of fruit that's been already cut up, and I can put it in the container and everything. And that way I don't have to worry about it. You know, that's all I need to be concerned about. Oh, I'm going to make a cup of tea. I'll have a cup of tea. Cup of tea. Sugar. So, I will be sorting out a recording tomorrow, and then I'll be sorting out a routine from next week where I get, some weeks I'll get fruit and veggies every week, and some weeks I might wait for 2 or 3 weeks to get fruit and veg. I might even organise a routine where I get some things from Coles, some things from the greengrocer. So like, say if I get pumpkin and broccoli from Coles, but then I run out of broccoli, so by the time I go to get like strawberries and pawpaw and that from the greengrocer, I can just pick up another thing of broccoli there and take it home. It just means I'm not always having to go to Coles to get fruit and veg. I can pretty much say, okay, I've used up all the potatoes and I'm going to make wedges tomorrow. I'll just go to the shops, and while I'm buying potatoes, I might as well get this and that as well. If I'm not doing that, then next week I can get stuff from Coles, and if I decide, oh crap, shit, I've run out of pumpkin, I'll just go and get pumpkin from the greengrocer and think, yeah, right, I'll get some watermelon too. Just means I'm not always having to bring home a whole heap of stuff from the greengrocer. But then I'm not always having to spend a lot of money either, which is a good thing. Is a very good thing. A really good thing. So, basically it just means I can go to the fruit shop every week and get a bit of this and that. Which is a good thing. On Friday I might get some pawpaw cut up. Get some red pawpaw, and I'll get, what will I get? Oh, probably some bloody some of that salad mix. Oh, that's beautiful. They have it in these plastic trays, and you just open a tray up, like the top of the tray, and you get a bit out to put on your bread. Oh my God, it's beautiful. You can have that with all of your pre-existing salads. So if you get any of your stuff you want at Coles, then you go to the greengrocer and get this fruit mix, this salad mix. It's beautiful. It's absolutely fantastic. I'll take this tea bag out. It's a bit, God, the plastic's stuck in there. Oh my God, bloody plastic. Definitely black tea with chemical diffuser, and smell it. Well, this tea's going along well, so I'm going to upload this recording and just say, well, glad that everyone's got Jonathan under control. I don't have to deal with him or Wayne. And God only knows what I'm going to do today. But I know on Thursday, which is tomorrow, I'm going to Cannon Hill Shops, and on Friday I'm going to Fairfield Gardens I have to go to the bloody post office tomorrow. Oh, shit. Have to do that. I absolutely must do that. It'll be my new Apple charger and all this shit that I've got. Yes. Anyway, yeah. I have to do all of that shit. I could just do it on Friday too. It'll be easy if I just did all of that on Friday. I don't like the post office man though. I think he's a pretty grumpy old person. I don't like him. You know, he takes his temper out on people and he's just not very nice. I can't stand him. I've had fights with him a few times in the past, and I'll probably have it out with him again. I'll probably have it out with him again. So, I'll be doing another recording later if I have anything interesting to say, and I'm definitely going to do a recording tomorrow. None of this, bugger me, I don't have any data. Well, I don't have to have data. I can just not use my Wi-Fi network when I go out unless I want to, which I won't be tomorrow. So I could just wait till I'm at home to upload the recording. That's all I need to do. And then if I do take my Wi-Fi modem out with me, I can just use it to upload recordings if need be.
Stop button.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I'm taking this Nature's Way probiotic choc balls, and I've been taking them for the past 4 days. Saturday, that's right. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So 5 days now. They're actually working out really, really well. They're a typical probiotic medication, so you have to be careful with it and eat properly, and you can't have pre-existing conditions where probiotics aren't indicated and all this stuff. Okay, they're a typical medicine that can sometimes be...
Now, Morris has come talk. Pause.
That can sometimes be not indicated, but usually it is. Usually you're okay. Usually it's okay to take it, one thing every day. Anyway, it's a chocolate ball, and they're quite yum. You just take one in the morning or at night, just pick a time and take it of that time, about that time every day. So, until the bottle's gone. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm doing pretty fucking awesome. It doesn't fix viruses, it doesn't fix most illnesses per se, but it does fix your own body to make it want to fix illnesses and viruses and all this shit that goes on with you. You still have to take it in conjunction with other medication if you're on it, if you're allowed to do it. And it doesn't guarantee perfectly good health every time, because everyone's different, but in general it is pretty fucking awesome. And whatever bug you've got in the system, it can range from being a cold to a stomach ache, or you've been on antibiotics or whatever you got, right? unless it's something permanent that's going to kill you eventually, or you've taken so much alcohol and so many cigarettes that you can't even possibly recover anymore, no matter what you do to your body, unless you've been extreme about ruining your life, it'll actually help you to make yourself better. Because they just go through your system, displace any pathogenic shit that's in your guts, and your stomach then uses whatever goodness that comes from these germ thingies to reverse any damage that has happened to it. So if a virus or antibiotics has fucked up your stomach, the probiotics go through there and displace anything bad that's in it, and then your stomach then is able to heal / reverse any problems that you've got. Most of the time, that is. Not for everything, but just most things. It'd be like having dirty hands and washing them under cold water with soap every single day until whatever has happened to your hands gets better. Except that this time you're drinking whatever you want to drink, and now I suppose just drink fluid and eat food, and all that stuff that's in the medication in the chocolate ball, and you get the same in a capsule or powder form to drink it, but I've got the one in a chocolate form, which is the same medicine, probiotic stuff. It basically cleans out your guts for you, and it replaces everything that your stomach needs. Then you just go about your business of eating and drinking. That's what you do. It's exactly what you do. You just don't want to take any probiotic medication at the same time as your antibiotics, because that'll stop it from working. You have to take it 3 hours away from antibiotics. And don't take more than the recommended dose either. You just don't want to do it unless a doctor prescribes it. Otherwise, don't. It's awesome. My stomach doesn't feel like a miracle thing. It just feels like a typical, like I feel okay, whatever. Just normal. Which means my stomach is fine. Which is why these chocolate tablets are so fucking awesome. Which means they are working. Yay! They're working. Yay! So now, whatever my immune system has to do to fix anything else in my body, it doesn't have to keep going and fighting off whatever stuff that my stomach needs to get rid of, so that my immune system would be too busy to fight off other germs, other stuff in other parts of my body. It won't be too busy or too short-resourced or anything like that. It's so busy trying to fight something out of my stomach or whatever it's trying to do that it can't do anything else in the rest of my body to fix it. So now that these probiotic bugs have displaced all the shit in my guts, my immune system will probably work better. It won't be too busy to get rid of anything out of my throat and that anymore, and then I'll just come back to totally normal, like I've never had an illness in a day of my life, which I know I would have had illnesses, but my body will just restore back to the way it should have been before I ever got sick, ever. Which, back in the day when I was a kid, I don't think you got Nature's Way probiotic choc balls. I don't think you got children's chocolate medicine that you could give to little kids who were too sick to even swallow a capsule, but they like chocolate, so you give them a chocolate, but it's got medication in it. I think they used to have chocolate Panadol, and they still do, but I can't be sure if, they used to have as wide a range of edible medications as they do now. Which is bloody amazing, to tell you the truth. It is fucking amazing. And now I just eat whatever I want to eat. Like, I don't even care. I just eat when I'm hungry. I can eat as much as I want. I can eat less if I want. I can have lots of food or less food. I can eat whatever and whenever I want. So, yeah, I'm not too fucking bothered anymore about much. At least that's something to look forward to when I tell the bloody psychologist that at least I can relax a bit more. Anyway, this time I'm definitely going. I will speak to you all again later.